Hey everybody, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. Going live, a little bit of surprise. Can't go live tomorrow morning because I have my Special Olympics state games is tomorrow. So I thought I would pop on here and see if anybody was around. If not, I'll just pull the parachute and get out of here. Look at that clean shaven. Look at that less than big hairy ugly dude. Can you tell everybody why I shaved? Because they might not believe me. What are you doing?
Mm. Um,
What are you eating?
it's a secret
She's eating chocolate. So why did I shave?
because you're going to be in a movie,
Yes, I'm
a
gonna be in a
film,
movie.
at a train station. It's very, very seductive in a movie.
Yeah. I'm
At a
gonna.
train station for 1940.
Yeah, it's a 1940s movie, black and white, and I am playing a councilman. What's going on, everybody? So I'm gonna be. I had to shave for the part because there's not a lot of beards in the 1940s, guys. I'll be on as long as you have questions.
Men weren't sexy in the 1940s like they are
Okay.
now.
She's interrupting me. We're going to have to kick her off the channel. I'll be on as long as you guys have questions. If you have any questions, post them up. I want to remind you, if I miss your questions, don't assume that I'm ignoring you because YouTube can be a real pain in the ass. And every time I do a live video, somebody tells me I'm skipping their question. The honest truth is, YouTube is very glitchy. Sometimes I don't see all the questions. So if I miss your questions, just post them up. Where's everybody from? What's everybody doing tonight? We just got back from Special Olympics state games. What's going on, Slim? What's going on, C. Flingo? Let me see if this makes any. No, hold on, baby. I got questions. What you got going on? She's going to keep interrupting me.
Oh, I love a t-shirt.
All right, Special Olympics. Now I got to get the.
Special Olympics
Okay, I
t-shirt.
got to get the questions now. Get out of here.
Okay.
All right, C. Flingo. Is 48 hours long enough recovery time for us older guys between hitting the same body part again? Well, there's a lot of variables involved in recovery. I could give you a blanket statement, say yes or no. Um, One of the things you need to consider is you need to look at overall weekly volume. When you're looking at like a workout for a body part, chest or quads or whatever, you need to consider how hard you worked it previously. If there's a little bit lingering soreness, you can go ahead and train it again. That's no problem at all. Um, you know, a lot of this is just intuitive. There are many ways to hit a body part. You have some guys that train really hard, and then some guys that will hit a body part and not hit it hard enough. If you are hitting it with a reasonable amount of intensity, focusing on progressive overload, and you feel fine, then absolutely go ahead. One thing I recommend for a lot of lifters, especially lifters that are over 40 and 50, is using more of a floating schedule. So if you're trying to train every 48 hours, if you're doing like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, don't be afraid to build in an extra recovery day. So if you train on Monday and Wednesday you're supposed to train again and you feel like crap, just train on Thursday. You don't need to train 3 times a week to have benefits. You could sometimes do Monday and then hey, I'm gonna wait till Thursday again and then I'm gonna train on Saturday. You can be a little bit more instinctive, a little bit more intuitive, and build in recovery days when you need it. You don't have to train 3 times a week. It could be 2.5 times a week. So don't be afraid to tinker a little bit with adding in extra recovery days when you feel like crap. Samuel Graves says, "I love your channel." Thank you, Samuel. I appreciate it. I'm usually on for an hour. I rarely ever go on Friday night, so I'm not sure if anybody's even going to be on to watch. You guys are all out drinking or about ready to hit the hay. I don't know. So I'll stay on as long as you guys have questions. And again, feel free to ask as many questions as you want. Diet, nutrition, training, supplement, off topic. I don't really care. Go ahead and ask any questions, and I'll try to answer them. If not, I'll just pull the parachute and hop off. Let me get some water here. Just winding up. I don't know, about 6 months working with the Hamilton County Special Olympics. They compete tomorrow, and then after that, we are done for the season. Next Saturday, I will be in West Virginia trying to run a 50K race at Cacapon State Park. The Saturday after that, I'll be doing another 50K race at Cedar Creek Lake in Ohio. If any of you guys are around those areas, slide into my DM. I'd be glad to, if you want to come say hi, if you want to come cheer me on, if you want to come be a part of my crew, stop by. That's where we'll be at. Just a reminder, guys, that I do coaching. If you guys need help with obesity or weight loss, you can slide into my DM at Ben the Barman. Ask me questions about that. I believe 3 slots open right now. I try to limit the amount of slots I have. Things kind of stay fluid; they come and they go. But if you're interested, it's a full hands-on service. It's not one of these BS services that we only check in once a week. It's not a cookie cutter service where I give you some stupid ass cookie cutter diet, some stupid ass cookie cutter workout routine. It's complete interaction, one on one each day. So, who's on tonight? Where are you guys from? Give me a shout out. Let me know where you guys are watching from, what country, what state, or what state. I'd be interested to know. And don't be afraid to ask multiple questions. Tim Laubensheimer, what's your favorite cigar? Good question. I like Maduros a lot. When I'm in a cigar shop, I'll gravitate to Maduros. Outside of Maduros, I love Davidoff. Davidoff's kind of expensive, but every time I have a Davidoff with a nice adult beverage, really sincerely enjoy it. Davidoff has never let me down. So if I have a lot of money to blow, when my wife's not buying jewelry or dresses, or just kidding, usually I Davidoff or Maduros, absolutely Davidoff or Maduros. How about you, Tim? What's your favorite? What's going on? Crocodile Python, Jacksonville, Florida. Rainy Essa is watching from Melbourne. My wife is Australian, if you can believe that. You want to come say hello to Rainy Eyes from Melbourne, Australia?
Hello, Rainy Eyes from Melbourne.
Where
We don't say Melbourne.
We say Melbourne?
We say Melbourne.
Melbourne. Where are we going in Australia in October?
We're going to fly into Sydney, and
Sydney.
then I'm going to take you to Katoomba, the Blue Mountains, for a couple of
Katoomba.
days. Then we're going to go to Richmond. Then we're going to the Hunter Valley to stay for about a week.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to be having a throwdown for a whole day for family and friends.
Oh, a throwdown.
Yeah, big barbecue, big beer drinking fest, food eating fest. And any of you that are from Australia are welcome to join us.
Yeah, the sausage sizzle.
Sausage sizzle. C. Flingo is from Atlanta. Slim56 says, I weight train 5 days a week. I started running a few weeks ago. How many days per week is it okay to run? I'm currently running 4 miles per day. Generally, if you're starting out, I would take it easy. I mean, I am about 13, 14 months into my running journey, and we took it really easy. I would probably limit it to 4 times a week right now if you're really hardcore about lifting. The only reason I'm doing 5 times a week is because I'm training for a specific goal, and that goal is next May. I'm trying to run a 96-hour endurance race, doing something really hardcore. But beyond that, I'm generally 3 to 4 times a week, unless you're really, really hardcore and love it and want to run 5 days a week. I schedule my recovery where I do Wednesday off, Friday off, and then Thursday I do a lighter run, maybe 8K max, which is light for us because we tend to average 10K per day. So just do what you like, but I wouldn't do it any more than 5 days a week, generally 3 to 4. Bruce is from Terry, Montana. Believe it or not, I used to live in the panhandle of Idaho for about a year after I got out of the military up by Coeur d'Alene. Love Montana. Absolutely love Montana. Me and my wife talk about it a lot. Hoping to get a cabin there so I can live part-time in Montana. Eventually when I'm older. So I'm a big fan of the West, especially Montana. Samuel Graves. I'm trying to hit a 2 times body weight bench. Best is 320 at 140. Do you have any opinions on exercise variation, rep ranges, or peaking methods? I've been hitting my head against a wall trying things. Well, Samuel, the first thing you need to understand is that this is going to take time. So one of the problems with guys that build a big bench press is that they start to hit their head against the wall because They want to get there quickly. They've experienced rapid progression in the past, and things just start to slow down. It can take you 4 years to. It could take you 4 years to gain 20 pounds on your bench. That's just reality. It could take you 2 years. Okay, it could take you a year. First off, you need to get very scientific and analyze your actual progression. Focus on adding reps rather than adding pounds, because if you can study the amount of reps you're adding over time, you can kind of project when you're going to be able to hit that. And that scientifically, that might help you understand, okay, I've added 3 reps in 4 months. It feels shitty. But when you look at the projections, it means I'm going to add 15 pounds on my bench this year. So first off, you need to get scientific. Second off, you need to really consider the fact that bench press is strongly tied to weight. More food you eat, the better off your bench results tend to be. Now, for somebody like you that's trying to hit a two-time body weight bench press, obviously you don't want to gain 15 pounds because that'll put you in a very bad position where it'll be harder to hit 2 times bench. But it means you need to be very, very tight and consistent with your diet. Make sure you're getting in your protein each day. Make sure you're hitting your minimum target for calorie intake. You don't want to fluctuate. You want to have some form of baseline consistency. Sorry, YouTube just died. I was answering the bench press question. Let me back up for Samuel. Beyond the food intake, you need to take a sincere look at your strength from head to toe. How is your shoulder strength? How is your shoulder dumbbell and barbell overhead press strength? All right, you need to get those up a lot. You need to get your triceps strength up a lot. You need to make sure you're doing a minimum amount of bicep strength. You need to look at all those pieces of the puzzle, because a lot of guys don't train their shoulders and triceps enough. They don't add enough strength on their shoulders and triceps. You need to make sure you're doing 6 to 8 sets of dumbbell and barbell overhead presses each week, getting a lot of volume on those and progressing on those, attacking those. You need to be getting in a quality amount of tricep volume, close grip bench, cable tricep extension, stuff like that. You need to be getting strong on that stuff. So you need to be attacking all the variables. You need to be making your back as strong as possible, your traps as strong as possible, your biceps as strong as possible. Cover all your upper body bases. So you got upper body strength, everything. Focus on your shoulders, your triceps, maybe even do some extra chest work, because a lot of times when it comes to bench, we focus on triceps and we focus on shoulders and we focus on bench press variations, but we don't focus on chest. Some of the best bench press progress I've had was from adding in a lot of push-ups, adding in the guillotine press, which is not bringing it down your neck. It was about 6 inches above. I'd bring it down here and then do this. I could really feel a good stretch, contraction in my chest. I would do like 225 by 3 or 4 sets of 10 on the guillotine press after my bench was done. I started to focus on more chest work. I really focused on dumbbell bench press, push-ups, guillotine press, just a lot of chest work, and that pays off as well. So beyond that, any of you guys interested, I got a lot of great programs over at Super Living Today. If you go to the courses tab, I have a bench press course which is less than $10, has a lot of good programs. So it's got a lot of good programs you might want to try. One of the issues with bringing up bench press strength as well is guys go low rep all the time. And sometimes if you just take a break and go high rep for 4 to 6 months, you're going to see some really dramatic changes in your bench press. You might even speed up the process a little bit. So I hope that helps some. Ben on Adventures, sorry for the wait, guys. Keep asking the questions. I'll stand as long as you guys have time. I have a friend who moved to Perth. I can't wait to see Australia. We're going to be running every single day. Tim says La Gloria Cubana is my go-to. I think I've tried that several times. I've tried just about everything. Bruce says, let's go hunting. I live out in the woods. You might as well bring a gun and follow me. Prairie Dog Adventures tuning in from Saskatchewan, Canada. Spent a lot of time near Toronto and Hamilton. Have not made it out to Western Canada. Would love to. Would love to just dive into the mountains and the wild out there and see if I can get eaten by a bear. Ben on Adventure says my dad wants to finally start hitting the iron. I was thinking of having him hit the six main movement patterns with one exercise uh, per move and a few accessories. Thoughts? Well, first off, Ben, I'd like to know. I need a little background. How old your dad is? Does he have an experience with the iron? You got the main movement patterns. A lot of times with the main movement patterns, if he has no base with the main movement patterns, you might want to have him rotate a little bit between barbell and dumbbell exercises because remember, if he's not lifted before, he's going to have a lot of instability. He's going to have some neuromuscular adaptation. So a little bit of variety other than barbell probably won't hurt him. But as long as he's hitting the movement patterns, if he's older, you probably want to have him do some sort of plank as a foundational exercise to make sure he brings up his core strength just slightly at baseline level. But the main movement patterns is a good idea. Depending on where he's at and how he is physically, don't rule out body weight exercises because sometimes that's a good foundation to build as well. Because if a lot of guys are starting to build their bench press, but they can barely do 2 push-ups. So out of the gate, it might be a good idea to kind of combine them. Maybe do 2 sets of dumbbell bench presses, 1 set of push-ups, and kind of work on those synergistically. So don't rule that out as well. Let's see. All right, guys, post up your questions. If I miss your question, slide into my DM on Instagram at Ben the Barman. Let me get some H2O. All right. What's going on, Samuel? Let's see. Gary, if you are older, watch the guys that are older that make gains like this guy. Thank you. I've been around fitness since I've been a fitness nut since I've been 12, and I'll be 52 this year. And I feel absolutely amazing. I feel absolutely amazing. I don't feel like I'm a genetic freak, but a key component of longevity in fitness is just listening to your body. But you can be consistent, just listen to your body, and I appreciate the compliment. 69 Camaro. Did you ever do any blood work before or after your weight loss? I did blood work back. I used to work in healthcare, so it wasn't uncommon for me to have blood work done. I worked in occupational health. I don't know, 4 or 5 years. I don't talk about that much. But I used to actually do a lot of pre-employment. I functioned almost as a nurse, if you can believe that. I did all the screenings and blood pressures and pulses and hearing tests and drug tests and vision tests and you name it. So I had some blood work done about 5 years before I hit my peak, or my peak of weight, my fattiness, right? And my testosterone was 179. It was absolutely horrendous. I know that I generally struggled with high estrogen levels to begin with. I'm one of these guys that I think I came out of the womb with moobs. And I know that's not a cool thing to say, in the fitness industry, but it's real, man. I mean, I remember being like 8 years old and just looking skinny and fat as heck. And I remember, no matter how much I exercised, and I was an exercise nut, I had a lot of chest fat and belly fat, and I had to really get lean to clear that up. But anyway, to your question, yeah, I've had plenty of blood work done over the years. Not in maybe several years. But I probably need to get it done again. But
We got it done last year.
we got it done last year. Yeah, I can't even remember. We got it done last year together.
I wanted to check you out, make sure you're all healthy.
Yeah, I don't even remember. We had it done last year. I don't even remember my levels. So,
Yeah.
let's see. Essa says, I mean running. Did I miss your question, Essa? I'm sorry. It might have dropped off because the feed dropped away, so please post it again. YouTube sometimes disconnects. Ben on Adventure says, my dad, inexperienced lifter, lifted years ago, but his cardio and overall fitness is solid. He's 6'5", 238, walks 15, 20 miles a day at UPS. Holy shnikes, that's a lot of walking. Yeah, man, I mean, I don't know his age, but I would definitely consider the 6 movement patterns and maybe some body weight exercises thrown in for good luck. It's it's good to have control of your body and not just relying on barbell exercises. 6, 8, 9 twin. Main focus on squats and deadlift. Sorry, that's all I got. So I don't know if that's a question or not. The feed dropped off. So any of you guys that posted questions, if I missed your questions, post them up again, and I'll try to get to them. I usually stay on for about an hour. We're 20 minutes in, so just keep hitting me up with questions. I don't care what they are. Ask off topic, ask nutrition. If they're supplement questions, I'm not a supplement expert, but I know enough to be dangerous, so you can ask those as well. All right. Zyban 64. Thoughts on Arthur Jones or Mike Mentzer? One thing about Mike Mentzer we need to understand, I always respected Mike because he made me think, right? In an industry of cookie cutter personalities, he made me think. That doesn't mean he's inherently correct. Mike went a little bit extreme. Mike had the majority of his muscle mass before he developed his system. And there are some guys that seen results on his system, no doubt. There's guys that see result on any system. Basically, if you have the basics in place and you apply them over a long period of time, you're probably going to see results. The heavy duty stuff, I hate generic training to failure. I think it's one of the worst things you can do. It's not a requirement to build muscle. There are other ways to increase the intensity. I do like rest pause training because once you beat a muscle down and then you continue to add some volume to it, it's very, in my opinion, it's very, very good for the muscle building process. Because if you look at a set of 12 reps, for the first 6 to 8 reps, you're not really working hard. The further into a set you go, the more muscle fibers you're recruiting. So if you have a set right at that borderline limit, and then you do rest pause, like you take a 15 to 20 second break, and the fatigue rescinds just a little bit, but then you pound it again, and then let it rest for a short period of time, and pound it again. You're getting in more quality reps. They're not as dangerous as training to failure. So I like things like drop sets. I like things like supersets, like supersetting a compound movement and a body weight exercise. I like some of the principles of high intensity training, but there's some of the things like waiting 10 to 14 days in between, workouts. Not a fan of. I think that's way off base. I've never known anybody personally to get good results from it. That doesn't mean it doesn't occur. And training every exercise of failure. Look, there's a problem with training of failure, and I've talked about this before, is that we try to pretend that all exercises are created equal, which is absolutely nonsense. Some exercises are really easy to train to failure, and they're forgiving. Like you can train barbell rows to failure, and once you hit that last rep, you pretty much know you're done, and it's not going to really tax your body. On the other hand, dumbbell rows, man, I've never trained dumbbell rows to failure because honestly, I feel like my bicep would rip out. I've done some crazy dumbbell row work. Just check out my Instagram. I posted 265 by 8 recently. I've done 200 by 30 reps, but I would be afraid to take those to failure. So one thing about training to failure is you have to realize that not all exercises are equal. Some are far more punishing and far more dangerous when you get to failure. Thaddeus Fields. Today is Sally and my anniversary. He's just telling me now he's my client, for the love of God. And now he's telling me, like I ask my clients every single week, you got any challenges this week? You got any challenges this week? And Thaddeus just tells me now, at the end of the day, that it's his anniversary. You goofball. All right. Stay out of trouble. Have extra adult time. Do some adult yoga. And stay out of trouble. Have fun without it being alcohol and food. You know what I'm saying? Go take a long romantic walk and then go do some adult yoga on your mattress. But congrats on your anniversary. Michael, I really liked a rotator cuff exercise you had in a recent video for bench stability. It is rotating from 90 degrees above to 90 degrees below the shoulder. I tried it, and it was a big weakness. Excellent. I'm glad it was very helpful. Unfortunately, that wasn't me because I don't teach rotator cuff exercises. So I'm not sure where you got that from. I've never teach rotator cuff exercises. I'm not an expert on that sort of stuff. Very sorry to burst your bubble, but that was not me. Unless I did a video where I don't remember. Usually I don't talk about anything I don't know about. So sorry if there's any confusion. Well, not usually. I don't talk about anything I don't know about. I try to stay in my lane and not talk about things like, every other YouTube personality or fitness guru likes to talk about like if somebody asks them a question, if they don't know about it, they still want to be an expert on it, and that's not the way I work. Josh Rathke, thoughts on creatine giving a bloated look to physique? No, it does not. Creatine only pulls water into muscles. It's not going to bloat your fat or your belly or your gut or anything like that. Creatine will not bloat you, will not add unwanted water weight onto the body. That's not the way it works. If anybody thinks so, they're very, very misguided. Creatine is a rock solid product. It's highly studied. If anything, some people respond well to it, some don't. If anything, it'll help you gain a little bit of a energy and power advantage, and it might help with the muscle building process 1%. But it's not going to make you look bloated. If you look bloated, that's from something else. That's usually carbs are the issue. Sometimes you might drink more water when you are on creatine, not realizing that. But your body is very good at flushing unneeded water. So if you have temporary water bloat from creatine, that'll be gone in a day or two. That's generally not going to linger. The only thing you're going to get is more muscle or water in your muscle cells. Correct me if I'm wrong. 689 Twin. My question was regarding advice for an injured lifter. I'm nail for broken femur after motorcycle accident, leg shortening and quad damage from surgery, struggling to get past 3-plate deadlift. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. If you have had a bad motorcycle accident and your leg is short and you have quad damage and all this kind of stuff, if you love the deadlift, then by all means continue to work on it. I'm not a doctor. If I was working with you face to face, it would be easier for me to assess what you're going through. So honestly, with my limited knowledge and not knowing you and not seeing your form, there's not a lot I can do other than tell you to be cautious and be patient. If you're not a power lifter, but you still want to build muscle mass, you need to understand that you don't necessarily have to do deadlifts or squats to build mass. If you like to do the exercises, you might want to do things rotating between floor deadlifts and rack pulls between 3 to 5 or 6 or 7 inches, which are a little bit more forgiving. It might be a little bit easier for you to handle and still can bring up your deadlift strength. Squats, I don't know. You got one leg shorter than the other. You have quad damage. When one leg's shorter than the other, when you're squatting, you want to be focused on driving your butthole straight down. That'll help you stay stable. That'll help you from rotating a little bit, which can sometimes happen. Now, with the situation you're in, where you have quad damage and you have one leg shorter than the other, your body's going to tend to want to twist a little bit one way or the other in the hole, I would suspect. So it's very, very important that you focus on driving your butthole down. I can't really give you advice other than that because it's a very unique situation. It's something you're going to have to tackle. I could look at your form. You could send me your form via DM on Instagram, and I could kind of get a better concept of it. That would help a lot. But beyond that, not a lot I can do to help you. So I'm very, very sorry. Let's see. How do you balance running and lifting? Do you separate them at different workouts for different days? Honestly, whenever you add another physical pursuit into the mix, it's going to take some time for your body to adapt. but your body generally will adapt unless it's an abusive level of training. My body feels fine. It does. My calves are sometimes fatigued. My ankles are sometimes fatigued. But what we do right now, and what we have been doing, is when I get home, we do our resistance training workout, and then we go run. And it is not easy. Um,
That's all right.
I mean, when you get home, and my last meal is like at 2 o'clock, and I get home and it's 4:30. All I'm saying most of the time is like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. I must say that like 50 times a night, right?
Yeah.
And and then we get your resistance training work done, and I'm like, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry.
8:30 at night.
But during the run, I say it like 1,000 times. But you live, and the recovery's fine. I have to pull back. Honestly, what I'm doing is a little bit extreme and not anything I recommend for anybody else, unless they want to train for an endurance race. But I work out only 30 minutes a day. I cut back. Couple of things, though. I'm not building, I'm maintaining. Maintaining is a lot easier than building. It doesn't take much for me to maintain muscle mass, so you need to understand that. For somebody that's trying to build muscle mass, they probably need 50 to 60 minutes in a gym each day, minimum, maybe 50 to 75 minutes. And they probably don't need to run as much as I do. Like, I run 2 hours a night. For the average person that wants to do both, you need 50 to 75 minutes in the gym, and then you probably need to go run for 30 to 60 minutes, depending on how much you enjoy it. So there's some balance there, but I hope that helps a little bit. DeMarcus, could you do high frequency push ups and pull ups every day? Absolutely. We did that sort of stuff in the military. A lot of people fear that sort of stuff. But I tell you, when I entered the military and when I exited the military, exited the military basic training, from doing push-ups and running and all that stuff every day, I was a freaking machine. Ask anybody that's been in basic training. I could do a ton of pull-ups. Excuse me, push-ups. My mile time was dramatically increased. So the body will adapt, and you're going to get tired. But if you keep pushing and do that every day, there's going to be benefits. With that said, I think it's best to probably limit it to 5 times a week. You can do push-ups and pull-ups first thing in the morning, and then do your resistance training in the afternoon, or do push-ups and pull-ups after you do your resistance training. That's my best recommendation, but you can absolutely do them nearly every day. Give your body some rest, though. There's no need to be obsessive, like, I got to do this 7 days a week. There is benefit from taking a couple days of rest, and I believe that for resistance training, I believe that for running, I believe that for anything. So I hope that helps some. Fall and night, walking lunges versus reverse lunges, which is better? The forward lunge is better in my opinion. Okay, because I think high volume lunges is a good complement to somebody that's squatting and doing a whole battery of leg exercises. At the end of a workout, I like to do a finisher, and I like to do a lot of lunges. I have done a lot of lunges in the past. Usually I would finish out my workout with 100 body weight lunges. So I like to lunge. The reverse lunge is a little bit different beast, but when somebody asks best, what is best? It's really goal specific, but a lot of times the answer is do them both. Do them both and do a lot of them and see how it makes you feel. Because for you and your goals, do 50 of each and see what you feel. You're going to learn a lot. Do them for a couple months. You're going to learn a lot, and in that application process, you'll know what feels valuable for you and what is a waste of time. John West, what's up, big hairy ugly dude? Just wanted to say hi before I pass out from leg day number 2. Sleep well. Make sure to have a drink for me because I'm not drinking right now, and eat a few slices of bacon for me because I'm cutting right now, trying to get slim and trim, but get some rest. Hope you're not too sore tomorrow. Harold Herbst, What's up? Your thoughts on lean bulking? I'm 51. Been working out seriously a little over a year. Went from 215 down to 155 and would like to maintain a fit 165. All right, you are at a great weight for your age. Well done on the weight loss. Nobody over the age of 45 or 50 should ever do an aggressive bulk. Ever, ever, ever. Okay? Um, if anything, eat 300 calories above maintenance. If you get a little bit fluffy, then it only takes a couple months to lose that weight. But if you want to maintain weight, understand if you want to maintain weight and be fit, but yet build muscle, understand there's a lot of benefit to eating just a little bit more. And as you pack on muscle mass, your metabolism is going to speed up, and it might actually improve. You might actually just need to eat a little bit more. So you can find your maintenance level, but you need to work really hard in the gym to gain. From my experience, I've seen guys gain muscle mass at maintenance level, and I've seen them do slight recomps, but they need to crush it in the gym. And most guys think they're crushing it in the gym, but they're not. And that offends a lot of people, but honestly, it's the truth. So just make sure your workouts are in order. Try to keep your weight. Um, if you gain a pound every 2 months, it's not the end of the world. That it's not going to take you a long time to lose the weight, but it's really goal dependent. There's nothing wrong with maintaining weight and smashing the weights hard and trying to see if you can add an inch on your arms and legs and remaining fit. So, Eagle, your personal story on how you and your wife changed your lifestyle habits was really cool. We can all relate. Thank you so much. And we sincerely appreciate the support. Our lifestyle, we're not fitness models. We're not, I hesitate to call us like, fit freaks because we love to exercise, right? We love to stay active. We hike, we run, we we lift weights. We're always active. But we also like to have fun. We do. We're very balanced. We like beer.
I like me Saturday movie nights where I get a few meals.
Yeah, and when we're maintaining weight, we'll have a little bit of nachos, a little bit of ice cream.
I don't eat nachos.
Ah, she doesn't. No, she's fluffy puffies, but we appreciate that because we
Like a bit of life.
we like to live in all aspects of life, and I think that's very, very
And
important.
there's a little secret. You always stop at find a chocolate shop when we travel.
Yeah, that's
So you
fine.
can try them.
That's a secret to life, keeping your wife happy. Find a chocolate shop. Samuel, thoughts on JM presses, nose breakers, throat crushers for lockout work? Tired of hearing that's not a skull crusher. All right. So, this movement on the skull crushers, and I've made videos about this before. Anybody that thinks, a skull crusher, this movement has to be like this, is really misguided. The tricep, long head of the tricep has two functions: rotation and extension. If you rotate a little bit and bring that bar back down to here, it's going to feel better on your elbows, right? This is the way it works. This is the way you should do it. This is the way I do it. Rotation and extension. Okay, so doing this crap, like having your arm stapled to your side. I made videos about that. Just check them out. Triceps, Google, or search on my Massive Iron channel, Triceps. I beat a dead horse on that. Anybody that thinks you have to bring the bar to your nose is just a goofball. They're just a goofball who thinks they understand good form. As far as for lockout work, there's a lot of good exercises that can work on your lockout work. Jam presses are one of them. Just I like a lot of volume on close grip tricep, close grip bench press. I don't bring it all the way down to my chest. I like that as well. But try some different things. But most of all, just hammer the hell out of your chest and your triceps. Try a few different things and see what you like, really. experiment because there's no magic formula. Find the exercises you like, get in a good amount of volume on there, and see what helps. Biggest mistake I think a lot of guys make on the bench press is they stick to so many lower up sets that they're not getting a lot of volume on their chest, on their bench work, on their dumbbell bench work, on their triceps, even on their shoulders. And, I don't think that does them justice at all. So just keep that in mind. Uh, the angry kid. I'm wondering if doing dumbbell exercises for compound movements like dumbbell bench is effective for increasing my bench press, as long as I progressively overload, change tempo, sets, and reps. Do them both. Always do both. I am a big proponent of doing both, bench press and dumbbell bench press. What I did for a long, long time is week A, I would do like bench and decline dumbbell bench press or incline dumbbell bench press. Week 2, I would do incline barbell bench and then just flat bench dumbbell bench. So I like a lot of variation. I like to get us strong on a lot of variations. No downside to that. No magic formulas for increasing your bench press, but I will tell you, strength is strength. And if you can get strong on a lot of different bench press variations, it's only going to benefit you. Don't worry about tempo. All right. If you want to worry about tempo, go ahead. I like to keep it natural. All right. Let me get some water. Any experience how to work out after shoulder dislocation? Not yet, but if my wife wants to come over here and dislocate my shoulder, I don't think she could. No, I do not, Francis, and I'm very sorry. I would recommend going over to my group Massive Iron on Facebook and posting that question because it's a really good group and I'm certain somebody will have some good information for you. Nico, would you say that if your muscles aren't sore after workout, then you didn't train them hard enough? No. Okay, I made a video on this. The soreness you experience, there's a very good chance it's not muscular at all. Let me repeat. The soreness you experience is generally not muscular. If it is, it's a very small degree of muscle soreness. Now that's shocking to some, but hear me out. What we tend to experience, the soreness and stiffness, is the fascia and connective tissue in a muscle group. I believe there's 8 to 9 times more sensory neurons in connective tissue and fascia than there is in the muscle. That means it's more sensitive. It's going to hurt. That's what's hurting from inflammation. Now, when you feel stiffness, that's like the connective tissue in the fascia, like calcifying, just like you can get up and you can move it and it starts to break up a little bit and soften up a little bit. So the soreness and stiffness you feel is generally not a muscle, okay, generally. I'm not saying it's never muscular, but it's most of it is probably the fascia or connective tissue. This is why some muscle groups in your body get really, really sore all the time, and some muscle groups never get sore. In my well over 30 years of lifting, I think I've had my shoulders sore once. And I have some freaking big and strong shoulders. I do. My traps always get sore, my chest always gets sore, my triceps get sore, my quads get sore. There's certain muscle groups for me that never ever get sore. I think I got my biceps sore maybe 3 times. So don't worry about soreness. Worry about progressive overload, getting a lot stronger than you are now.
My biceps don't get sore.
Her biceps don't get sore, but they're humongous. Ben on Adventures. Not sure if you know Jeff Alberts. Reminds me of you, even though he's a bodybuilder in his 40s. Had posted about him basically sticking to basics and consistency. Honestly, that's a name I've never heard, and I'm surprised because I hear a lot of names. So I'm very curious to check him out. Ab Reyes, your thoughts on CBD oil? Well, first and foremost, me and Fiona have been taking it. We take a brand we make, a house brand at tigerfitness.com because we control the quality. It's hemp daily. You can check it out at tigerfitness.com. That's my plug, but we make it, so I trust the quality, so that's what I use. We've been experimenting with it because, quite honestly, we have a lot of stress in our life. I don't talk about that a lot, but we every single day, from the second I wake up to the second I go to sleep, I got people in my DMs asking me questions. I got people just swarming. Fiona has 2 jobs, her own business, and she works on part time as a, kind of a in-home nurse. So we've been experimenting with that, CBD oil for a myriad of, just for overall health and wellness. And I can't lie to you and say like, oh my God, I feel so amazing on it. But the jury's still out, and honestly, the research is still out on the benefits of CBD oil. A lot of people hype it because they want it to be a super oil, but the research is still out, and that's as neutral as you're going to
We've
hear.
only been taking it for probably a week and I haven't been that consistent.
Right, but as of right now, since we're still in the infancy stage, I recommend that you try it, and you try it for a long period of time. You use it as a staple, like with creatine and fish oil. And at some point in time in the future, if they find out, there's going to be a lot of science going on right now on CBD oil. So until we know what that science is, be part of the experiment. It's not like some freak random, supplement of the day, where somebody's trying to come up with a new ingredient and force feed it to you. There's a lot of promise, so I'm hopeful, but the science is still out. So that's my best opinion. Unconventional says can't control my hunger at night. All right. First off, if you need help, I offer coaching. All right. So if you need help, head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, and I'd be glad to help you with accountability. Now, with that commercial done, if you can't control your hunger at night, there's ways to combat it. Number one, you need to eat less food during the day. Now, if you say I'm hungry during the day, I don't give a shit, okay? And I say that with love and respect. I don't give a shit, because if you're super hungry at night, you need to do something. Either suck it up at night or suck it up during the day. I'm a big nighttime eater. I like to eat at night. So for a long time, I had to eat less during the day. That's, and if you're eating things like flour and sugar, you're going to be causing this insulin spike, this insulin roller coaster, and you're going to feel more hungry more often. If you're eating junk foods, processed food, fast foods, foods that are very vacant and micronutrients, you're probably going to feel hungrier more often. You need to clean up your diet. You need to add more veggie volume, and I don't care if anybody doesn't like veggies. I don't give a shit. Newsflash: I don't like going to work, but I have to go to work because I have to pay my bills. If you don't like veggies, I don't give a shit, because you need to eat veggies because you're an adult and you know they contain micronutrients. So suck it up, Buttercup. And I'm not speaking specifically to the person posting the question, just answering in general. So eat less during the day, clean up your diet, improve your veggie volume. I want to tell you something. I'm going to give you an experiment, okay? I want you to get 2 bags of cauliflower rice. That's 150 calories. I want you to get 2 bags of frozen veggies. We can get them at Kroger. They're about 100, 125 calories a piece. You have 4 bags, okay? That's 150 and 250. That's 400 calories. 400 calories of veggies. 4 bags of veggies, okay? I want you to add about, I don't know, 400 to 500 calories of chicken and 300 calories of shrimp. All right, I'm back, and I'm sorry if that cut off, but I want you to get four bags, 2 bags of veggies, 2 bags of cauliflower rice, 400 to 500 calories of chicken, and maybe 300 calories of shrimp. Put that all in a pan, heat it up, and see if you can eat it all. That's like 1,200 calories. That's a monster amount of food. You will feel full. You will struggle to eat it all. It will taste good. You can add a little light soy sauce, salt, pepper, garlic, hot sauce. Trust me, you will struggle to eat it. So you need to come up with some strategies that will help you, and that's one strategy. But most of all, if you're a big nighttime eater, you need to work with that. Eat less during the day and increase your food volume. So I hope that helps some. Nico, what's your max bench? The most I've ever done in competition was 392. That was at a lighter body weight after losing 100 pounds. Before that, I did 388. You can find videos on this channel of me doing lockouts with chains with 500. At most in the gym when I was after my last meet, I did 425 with a slingshot for 2, which put my max probably close to 400. All these videos are online, by the way, on my Instagram or YouTube. So I don't know what it is now. I don't train for max bench now. Uh, Really87. Sorry, trying to read it here. When you mention quality sets, how many sets do you set for yourself, and how does it depend on the rep range? Um, I made a video recently on volume and quality sets. Quality sets really. You want to do a few. You want to do at least a few sets each workout where you're pushing a set for as many quality reps as possible. A quality set is really when you look at the bulk of a sets for an exercise, you're trying to take that unit and move it forward. Okay, so if you have 3 by 10 on bench press and you stagnate and never get stronger, move that unit forward, do those are those quality sets? If you spend a year with 3 sets of 10 on 185 on bench and you never get stronger, those sets are no longer quality sets because your body is acclimated. You're not getting really anything out of it other than maintaining your existing muscle mass. So a quality set is really going to be something in a very vague but appropriate way of saying it is going to be a set that moves you forward to your goals. Now, a quality set is going to be independent of total volume. And I spoke about total volume earlier in this week, I believe. You can check out that video. But a quality set is a set that is part of a unit that is moving you towards your goals. If it is stagnating, you're not getting any stronger, then it is not a quality set. And I hope that makes sense. Hurricane, will strengthening the. Sorry, you dropped out. I'll get to that question. What's your favorite beer and favorite steak? Favorite beer, Dogfish 120. It is like 17 to 18%. Absolutely love it. I love double and triple IPAs, but the Dogfish 120. Any Russian Imperial Stout has my heart. I mean, I love anything over 8% alcohol. I love double or triple IPAs. I love Dogfish 120. I also love Belgian quads. But those are something that generally tastes better to me after a balls out hot day of hiking and you're thirsty AF and they're cold AF. Let's see. Hurricane, how to improve knee strength? Will glute hamstring work help? Knee strength, is joint strength and tendon and ligament strength is going to come from strengthening your body over time. Like say on squats, for example. When you're working your squats, you're strengthening your muscles, but you're also strengthening your joints and tendons and ligaments, all right? And that takes time, for those to strengthen. So the best way to strengthen your knee would be probably not to train like a power lifter, all right, for the average person, but to do a reasonable amount of volume and progress over time and get up a baseline of strength. If you can get your squats to say 315 by 3 to 5 sets of 10, you're probably going to have a lot of knee strength. And if you back that with a good complement of exercises that work your legs, your hamstrings, and your quads, because you want to have a balance between hamstring and quad strength, then that will help as well. Keep a balance because that'll help the knee remain healthy. So I hope that helps some. Very vague answer, but that's kind of really what it's all about. Ben on Adventures. Exercise science is my background. My big pet peeve is some people who call themselves evidence-based is they invalidate people's experience and forget anecdote is a type of evidence, albeit lower tier. Anecdote is usually the inspiration for a lot of science. What we experience in life, what we experience, we have to then question, right? So anecdote is a lot of times a foundation for us to question life and create science. And there are things we need to understand that training people is an art form. There's a lot of we can have a roadmap, But when I am training people, no two people are the same, because you're not just dealing with a myriad of physical differences. The human individual is a mess up here, and they have varying degrees of injuries and challenges, and you're dealing with so many variables that to the biggest thing to understand is we need to get a person from point A to 5 years later at point B. That's a huge challenge. All right. We focus on optimal this and optimal that and science-based this, but really it's a hard road to get somebody to be consistent for 5 straight years. You can optimize the fuck out of everything, but still, to get person from A to B 5 years later is an art form. And you have to be willing to make all kinds of adjustments to get that person across that journey. It's just like next weekend I'm going to be running a 50-mile race. I know how to run. I know how to train for the run. But a lot of that shit is mental. Getting from point A to point B over a long distance of time, that's some mental shit right there. That's willpower. That's stuff that you can't measure with science. So, lifting is a lot of art, and there has to be some intuition and experience, and we obviously need roadmaps and guidelines. But honestly, a lot of the science in the lifting world is just utter shit. It's utter shit, and it's done, in ways that we don't normally train. We haven't really, so not all of it's shit, obviously, but a lot of it's overthinking too. There's so much overthinking in this industry, it just makes me nauseous. So, I mean, for fuck's sake, get a lot stronger than you are now. Use a reasonable amount of volume. Use a good exercise selection. It's not fucking rocket surgery. It's just not. It's not. You can study it all you want. You can optimize it all you want. But if somebody doesn't know the optimal stuff and they just do that, they'll get there. They really, really will. I'm not talking about turning them into a world-class bodybuilder or a world-class powerlifter, but 99.99% of us don't want to get there. We just want to look good and be stronger, and that's not complicated. The problem is that most people can't do what it takes just to do the basics. Remember that. That is the problem. Most people cannot do what it takes to do the basics. That's not an optimization issue. That's not a science or evidence issue. Something is missing there, and that's the point A to point B over 5 years I'm talking about. So that's why look, I'm an editor for a living. All the studies in the world pass through these fucking eyes. They do. I've seen them all. I commission articles you guys can't even imagine. I've seen all the studies. I see all the people. I know all the evidence. I know all the research. But at the end of the day, I want to set that stuff aside, because I know getting from point A to point B 5 years later is it's much more up here. It is, because people can't even do the basics. So you have to find a way to work with them to get them to do the basics. Boy, that's a long rant. All right, let me roll on here. Francis, did you incorporate a lot of front squats in your lifting career? I've done front squats. I mean, I think I got my front squat to 4 or 5. Honestly, I don't like front squats. I don't like the way they feel. I'm just not a big fan. I always get roll. I'm because of my muscle mass. I can't really get a good grip on them. So it just never felt good for me. What's the best way to perform them? Cross arms. I had to do them cross arms because I don't have this type of flexibility. If you're a bigger dude, you probably need to do them cross arms. Then you need to really focus on keeping your elbows up. If you're not, muscle bound or fat bound, then you can really do them any way you want. The key is just keep your elbows up. You need a really good degree of discipline. Mitchell. Big hairy ugly dude, why you shave your beard? Watch the beginning of this video, because I'm in a movie. A movie is called Disappearing Debutante. It's a black and white film from the 1940s. I'm a Councilman McNamara, and I need to shave it for that movie role. They do a lot of filming in Lebanon, Ohio. Woody Harrelson him and his mother actually put a lot of money into the theater where Fiona does costume design. So it's a big place for Hollywood right now to film movies. And I'm in a movie called The Disappearing Debutante, and I had to be clean shaven because in the 1940s, a lot of guys don't have beards. So I am filming that Sunday. Demarcus, I hear a lot about pec tears on flat bench pressing. Does incline bench press prevent pec tears? All right, I'm going to say this. Most of the pec tears I've seen over my years, a vast majority of them have come from geared lifters. Like I've been in this industry a long, long time, and I think I've seen one pec tear in my world. Okay, and this is not scientific. In my world, I think I've seen one pec tear from somebody that wasn't a geared powerlifter, but the majority of them are from geared powerlifters. So, you know, I don't see it a lot as a major injury. I don't think there's going to be like incline. I think has more potential to put strain on the pecs because you can't bring that as low, okay? Because your elbows are moving further back. So I think the incline is generally a lift that you can't go as low at, and a lot of people don't understand the differences between the incline and flat bench, and they can put themselves in some precarious positions. But if you understand form and you're wise, I assume a pec tear would probably be equal between an incline and flat bench. Many thanks for answering my question. Glad I made it to live. Your channel is a blessing. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Thanks, Ben. Take care. The Angry Kid, would it make a difference if I put resistance training before muscle endurance exercise? For example, doing dumbbell bench press before push-ups. You want to do your resistance training, your progressive overload work first, and then use the push-ups or the endurance work as kind of a finisher because that'll actually help with building muscle. So never do it before. You also don't want to weaken a muscle before you do dumbbell work or barbell work and then have your form compromised because of fatigue. 22, brand new. My buddy tour is in March, going for a 501 record bench. Yeah, I mean, once you're up at that level, you know, that's not many guys get raw 500 benches, so I can only imagine. Francis, great live stream so far. Thank you. I appreciate you guys making my Friday night and showing up. I am off. I'm headed out. Don't go yet. I got a few final words before I go. Tomorrow, I'm doing the Special Olympics Powerlifting State Games. If you need coaching, I offer complete coaching services. This is no bullshit, no cookie cutter crap. Head over to my Instagram, @BenTheBarman, @BenTheBarman, @BenTheBarman. Slide into my DM. No dick pics, no nude pics, nothing like that. Slide into my DM, and I'll go over the details. We'll set up a time to talk. If you need some good programs, head over to my website, Super Living Today. I got all kinds of books. If you need a fat loss program or a program to get your ass off the nasty junk, I got a 100-day challenge over there called 10-100. It is intense. It's like a fitness and diet boot camp. It'll completely change your life. If you need exercise form assessment, a workout assessment, a diet assessment, I offer those services as well. So, guys, I appreciate you watching. What do we got here? We got one more question. All right, thank you, guys. Love everybody. I'll talk to you guys next week. I'll be back. I should be back. No, I won't be back next Saturday to do a live video because I'll be in West Virginia, but I might try to do one Thursday, July 4th, or Friday, July 5th. So watch for that. So, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and
Stay super sexy.
stay super sexy, people. The fate of the world depends
I
on
have to
it.
go to bed. I'm tired.
Holy shit.